happening? Jermaine Andre here, and welcome back to your mental toughness coaching session. In this video, I'm going to be talking about befriending fear. Now, I know you may look at that title and you think to yourself, befriending fear, and it seems kind of weird because what do we usually talk about fear? You know, don't be afraid. Stop being so scared. You need to learn to not be afraid and get in there and just do it. Okay, but this isn't true. And the reason that I say this is because fear is always going to exist within our life. Even if I'm afraid of snakes and I go and I learn to not be afraid of snakes and I play with them and I say, I'm not afraid of snakes anymore. Something's going to happen in my life that's going to make fear arise again. Fear is an entity that exists within us, just like anger, sadness, you know, all these, it's an emotion. And emotions you can't get rid of. You can desensitize yourself to certain things that make those emotions arise within, but you can't get rid of it. Something's going to happen within your life that's going to bring those emotions back up. So the only power we have is to learn to understand those emotions and control the way we respond to them. So that's why I tell you, you have to befriend fear. I want you to learn how to understand fear, recognize it, and when it shows up, to not be afraid of fear. I want you, when fear walks in, I want you to sit down and invite it in. Come on in, man. How you doing? Pull out some tea, you know, be calm, drink some tea, offer some tea to fear. And then work things from there and learn how to work with fear instead of trying to get rid of it and work against it. Okay. And a very important thing to know about fear, all right, is there's tons of power within you learning to befriend it. And the reason why is because most people's decisions rely on if they're afraid or not. If people are afraid, they won't do things because of fear. So fear plays an enormous role in people's decision making. So if you can learn that when you're afraid to still respond correctly, go for the goal, make the move, and do what it is that you need to do at that moment while you're afraid, because if something's happening that's making you afraid, it's pretty obvious that almost everybody else in that area who's involved in that same situation at that moment are probably afraid too. But when you learn to befriend fear and you can still respond like you're supposed to, that puts you above everybody. You know, first of all, 90% of the world, you know, non-athletic, goal-oriented, are their actions, their emotions, what they do every day is determined by what they're afraid of. If they're afraid of something, they don't even do it. So that puts you ahead of the world. You're already ahead of the world. That's where you're up in the top 10% competing with those who are trying to at least go after something that they may fear. So that's what I mean when I say befriending fear. It's very important for you to learn how to become friends with it and invite it in, because it's going to surface soon. You know, and that's what's going to happen. And one of the great things about fear is that people don't learn is fear empowers us with superhuman abilities. When we're afraid, our eyes widen, our hearing peaks, we get an adrenaline rush. Adrenaline gives you superhuman strength. All right, you can do things when adrenaline's going through your body and when you're afraid that you can't do. It's just like if the building, listen, you know, I like to use that a lot. The building caught on fire, and oh man, I get scared, and I start running. I can run through this wall, boom! But when I run through the wall, boom! I just hit my head on a beam and knock myself out because my response to fear was horrible. But I can bust through that drywall when I'm afraid. All right, now, let's say the building's on fire. Oh, we all get afraid. I feel fear. Oh, and I calm myself down. I know fear is there. And it's there for a good reason. And I know I've got superhuman strength. I know I can smell better. I can hear better. I can see better. I'm more alert. My reflexes, my instinct is up. Everything's up. And I'm looking. I see a door. Everybody step back. Ah, bam! I throw a hard side kick. Adrenaline-filled side kick. Boom! Bust that door wide open. We all go running through to safety. So that's because I befriended fear. I knew fear was there for a reason. It comes there for a purpose. Even though we're not used to liking the feeling, and sadly, everybody, we're taught not to like that feeling. You know why? Because if those who want to control you can teach you to cower down when you're afraid, all they got to do is make you afraid. And what are you going to do? You're going to go in your little hole. You're going to hide. You're going to do what they tell you to do. You're going to be their slave. So to give you back true power to yourself, true power as an athlete, true power as a law enforcement or security, true power as an executive, true power as an everyday citizen out there having to struggle through life, I'm giving you your power back by teaching you that you need to befriend fear. All right? Don't be afraid anymore. Learn to control your responses. Learn to accept it when it walks on in. Well, I hope this video helped you out a lot. Stay strong.